Welcome, disciples of the internet, to the ice-based scenario installment of my Mario Maker 2 series, where I recreate every level of Super Mario Bros. 3 in the Mario Maker 2 editor. World 6 introduces the snow theme, which became a staple of most Mario games to follow. World 6 contains a grand total of 14 levels, which means World 5 could not even hold its record of most levels for even one video. If you feel some inclination to view the first 5 videos in this series, click on the reference card located in the corner of your screen that will take you to the first video that covers World 1. One more not shameless plug before the video begins, however, make sure to subscribe and toll the notification bell to view even more jelly-filled content. 6-1. All of the enemies in this level, except one, are variations of piranha plants. The most common variation is a new one, the Patooey piranha plants. They blow one spike ball up and down through the air. My first thought was to replace these with a chain, but chains cannot represent the gravitational changes in speed and such. So we have to bring back the twister again. By putting the twister under the pipes, we can let the spike ball ride on the winds, except the snow theme in Mario Maker 2 has an exception where all spike balls are now snowballs. It makes the level much easier, but at least it does match the snow theme of this world quite well. The walking Patooey plants are much more problematic than the stationary ones, since you cannot put a twister on a chain for some reason, so they will both move at different speeds, making it look like the piranha plant is constantly dropping and picking up the snowball as it moves from side to side. 6-2, another boring auto-scroller type level, with cloud platforms that slide all the way from the right to the left of the screen. Now that I'm forced to use basic lifts, it actually adds an air of urgency to this otherwise uninteresting level. The absence of ice blocks makes it so that it is physically impossible to grab the super leaf at the beginning of the level, which further adds to the challenge. At the very end of the level is an out-of-place pool of water, but I still refuse to change to the jungle theme for pure aesthetic reasons. 6-3, yet another sky-themed ice level, but thankfully there is no presence of auto-scroll to slow your roll. The rest of this level is quite simple, with one of the only areas of interest being the sub-area that you access via a white vine. The sub-area has a unique Tanuki suit, and both exits of this area lead into the same pipe. So for the Mario Maker 2 version, I just shoved 2 pipes right next to each other, and yes, it does look out of place. 6-Fortress 1, the first of 3 fortress levels that populate the world. This level starts out with an automated lift ride over lava. The end of this ride has more deadly disco balls, and I made the lift stop early so there would be no chain interference. The rest of this fortress does not actually have much of interest, but there is a winged boom boom at the end.
You call this resisting arrest? We call this a difficulty tweak.
6-4, continuing with the trend of sky-based levels in this world, 6-4 features some wacky and unique lift chain shapes that are quite cumbersome to represent in Mario Maker 2. The lifts near the end of the level appear to spin constantly, so I have no regrets with simply replacing these with bumpers. 6-5, in my objective opinion, this is probably the worst level of the original game. If you play the level like any normal human being, you will just loop back to the beginning. What you are intended to pull off is grab a super leaf, clear out all the Buster Beetles, stomp on a Koopa, maintain P-speed all while holding the Koopa shell, and fly up to this alcove and kill the Nipper plants before the Koopa wakes up. The pain of this level is still mostly maintained in my Mario Maker 2 rendition, however it is a bit easier without Buster Beetles, and I replaced the Nipper plants with piranha plants this time, as munchers cannot be killed with a simple shell. 6-6, an underground underwater level, which means there must be some out-of-place pipes so the player can transfer into the underwater sections. Due to the sub-area rules, the start and end of this level must be underwater, which feels quite cursed in Mario Bros. 3 context. The underground sections of this level also feature some jumping Cheep Cheeps, but some static chains work just as well. 6-7, because I'm not allowed to have fun, we have yet another sky auto-scroller level, but at least there are some wicked chain chomps to keep me company. World 6 has some neat platforms that are some grassy plots of ground held up by some wood pillars. I used a green mushroom platform and some ground blocks beneath them, and like the grass semi-solids of World 3, I think these hack job platforms look quite good for what they are. 6-Fortress 2, this mini fortress does not share the fortress tropes shared by the castles that came before it. There is no lava, and there's another basic black background. Because of this, I resorted to the Mario Maker 2 Ghost House theme, as it also has a black background, and the only drawback is the music and the starting platform looking a bit weird. And since this is a ghost house, there are some boo diddlies. 6-8. In this frozen wasteland, there's one level that actually takes place in a grassy plain. At first I thought this would be a bonus since the spike balls would actually be spike balls now. But spike balls are actually quite problematic as they move to the side and will kill the piranha plants after contact is made. I tried to stall the spike ball or use chains, but in the end the best option was just to switch back to the snow theme so the piranha plant wouldn't just instantly die. The majority of the enemies in this level are nipper plants and buster beetles. Combine this with the snowballs and the slopes and it makes this level one of the most cursed Mario 3 levels so far. 6-9. The funny number level is another underwater level like 6-6, but since the water level is always at the same level, we can yet again use the horrid jungle theme. Since the triple life sub area cannot fit in the overworld, there must be some interlude sections in these ice blocks, and the sub area itself will be much more submerged than in the original game since the water level must be kept consistent throughout this sub area. 6-10. The final sky theme before I am free from bottomless pits. There are some paths blocked by ice blocks which can end with the player being soft locked if they run out of shells. Mario Maker 2 gives us coins frozen in ice, but they don't give us frozen munchers, so now the munchers will always be free. Inside the sub area there's some slope wackiness and a hammer suit. 6S Fortress 3. This fortress utilized Boo Diddleys, stretches, and disco balls, all problems we have already seen before. But the second area is a tad interesting. You drop in from the ceiling and the floor is raised until you can enter this door. I put chains all throughout the room and put bullet bill launchers on each one to simulate the rising of the floor of the original level. 6-Airship. This ship sports a very striking blue color and no enemies whatsoever, and I thought that 4-Airship would be the loneliest level. Since the corkscrew platforms are gone, most of the challenge of this level is also gone, and Mario only has to contend with 7 burners before finding Lemmy. Lemmy's magic balls are a bit less deadly in Mario Maker 2, but this is probably the most faithful fight so far.
And you gotta die!
After falling off the screen, both Mario and Luigi can now advance onto World 7. So that was all 14 levels of World 6 of Super Mario Bros. 3 represented in Mario Maker 2. At the end of the series, I'll rank all levels based on their faithfulness to the original, but for now, I'll just rank all of the levels in this world. Number 14, 6-8. Number 13, 6-9. Number 12, 6-Fortress 3. Number 11, 6-1. Number 10, 6-10. Number 9, 6-Airship. Number 8, 6-6. Number 7, 6-Fortress 1. Number 6, 6-2. Number 5, 6-7, number 4, 6-3, number 3, 6-5, number 2, 6-4, and number 1, 6-Fortress 2. So that's all of the levels in World 6 ranked from least to most faithful in Mario Maker 2. Eventually I'll recreate future worlds in the final ranking of every level, but until then, stick around.